Yeah, federal prison is a cakewalk. I've been in federals. It's a cakewalk.
Well, look,
it's so
that's
nice
the one you want to
there.
be in.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice in there. It's unbelievable. Oh my gosh, it's so nice in there. It's unbelievable.
But you know. That's the stupidest thing ever.
He's a lost cannon. Man, I'm not 150% of chance of anything doing with this. I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know. I have a lot of suspicion. I have a problem with Allie, Jose, Jody Sue, Andy, Donnie. I mean, I could list a whole bunch of people.
No investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her on the side and where
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me.
In a world full of upside downness, only one place could turn Don and Candace into sensitive, sympathetic
But I have to
figures.
put her on the side and where with the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any
Like
F's and
sand
stuff.
through the hourglass.
Live from the NBD Production
So are the
Studios,
days
you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
Of our lives.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me.
But I have to put her on the side and where with the boys. But I have to.
There is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have
What's
to
going
put
on,
her-
everybody?
But I have to put her on the side.
Good
and where
evening.
with the boys.
Welcome to Lab After Dark. I wasn't going to do this show, and I couldn't figure out how to delete it from my phone, so I was like, well, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just do this show. Let's just come on here and have at it. Man, the freaks come out at night. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm baffled. I had heard rumblings that Dawn and Candace were making their way back around, and I knew they would. And the reason I knew that they would is because nobody else will pay them attention. And, you know, tomorrow we'll talk so much more about this tomorrow. But I, frankly, for one, am getting annoyed and sick of people claiming that they're getting information from people that they're not getting information from. The question is always the same. And until that gets answered, I don't care what Don and Candace are doing. the question remains the same. Where is Summer? This is not going away. This is not going away. And to pretend that it is, or that it could, or that people don't suspect you, or you have some newfound backing. I mean, if there is somebody with a straight face that can tell me that Don or Candace don't know more than what they're saying, I would, and then believe it. Well, you know, I don't know. It turns into more about us and creators and so on and so forth. But yeah, Don is poking his head around. Don Wells is poking his head back around. It was just a matter of time. You know, I actually was wondering where exactly is so I this is kind of what I thought. I thought that the media manager, Tim Mullen, was going to try and keep a wrangle on Don and Candace. Well, Don. Candace hates him. From everything that I know. She's not a fan. And I don't blame her. Yeah, she doesn't have to be a fan.
What's up now?
You know, I'm confused. I thought maybe that especially Don, I thought Don had learned his lesson to stay off, and he hasn't officially gone on anybody's YouTube yet, but he's like calling creators and talking to other people, and it looks like they're trying to crowdsource some money for him to try and get his children back, and I'm sure that people will somehow, some way figure out a way for that to happen, even though it shouldn't, because personally, I think that sending those kids back would be negligent. I think it would be negligent. I'm baffled. I'm baffled, and it turns into infighting and so on and so forth. But here we go again, 2.0 down the pike. Here it comes. People want to fight. People want to make it about them. Let me just put this as plain as possible, and that way. And I don't know. And Don, if you're watching, and I know that you're all over the place, Candace, if you're watching, I think that you will both agree with this, and I'm going to say this as gentle as possible. They are not sympathetic figures. I don't feel sorry for Don and Candace. But I do feel sorry for the people that they buffalo, that they trick into feeling sorry for them. Summer has been missing close to 19 months. and the earth turns, but nothing changes. All these other cases that we've talked about at least have some kind of movement on them. But this one has no movement. It hasn't had any movement. And I saw Don B earlier say, is this case going to explode? I don't know, man. I hope so. I hope so, because nobody, and I mean nobody, knows where Summer is. And how that's possible is weird. Look, Michael Vaughn's case is still not solved. But we know a hell of a lot more now than the day that he went missing. Okay? Cody Bigsby, his father is in jail on negligent charges. Charges of negligence, excuse me. So on and so forth. So there's some movement there. It's something. Not one person has been arrested in connection with the disappearance of a 5-year-old little girl 19 months later. And my question is to the people that want to support Don and Candace, you have every right. It's America. Where are the other suspects? Who are we looking for? Are there other suspects? And who are they? Because I've been told for like a year and a half now that I am so laser focused on Don and Candace and bashing them that I can't see the forest through the trees. And I'm telling you right now, the people that tell me that, I don't care what you say, because I'm not fooled by this. I'm not from there. I wouldn't welcome anybody around me who has said the things, done the things that have been done, have been said.
Because stepmom calls them and tells them everything.
Is that you said, what was her name?
My stepsister is Jeannie.
Jeannie. And
we did have a relationship when we were younger.
And what was?
And she's just as guilty as I am.
So
she's trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes, like she's Miss Innocent and all this and that. Well, she's not.
Walk me through that. Help me understand.
I would rather not, but so we kind of had a relationship when we were younger. Yeah, I was a bit older. I had a dirt bike. I don't know how old I was exactly, but she started dating her cousin, which was about 12 years old at that time. And ever since then, she just wanted me out of the picture. Ever since then. And it started all this hateful stuff ever since then.
And how old were you?
I don't know. Maybe 15. I don't know.
And how old was she?
I don't know. She was a lot younger than me. And I thought this, and I remember thinking this, I didn't think it was right. But I was too young to understand how girls are too.
Walk me through that. When you say you didn't think it was right, what were you guys?
Well, because she was younger. Because she was younger. No, she would play with my thing, and I would play with hers, and that's about it.
You're right. It would be asinine to think that somebody that says stuff like that would have nothing to do with their kid missing. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I have from day one thought this fell at Candace's feet. That this entire situation fell at Candace's feet. That it unfolded with her. And I wouldn't even be surprised if she lied to Dawn about it at first. And so on and so forth. But why, so why now? Why start to resurface calling creators and looking to get 10 grand to help get their children back? Why now? Does anybody know why now? Because I don't. I really, really don't. I have no clue. Other than every time that they've ever ended up back on social media, it is because of drugs and alcohol. It does them no good. It doesn't help find Summer. You have to look for something for that for that thing, and Summer is by no means a thing, but you have to look for stuff when it's lost. And I just don't see, I've been willing to give the benefit of the doubt. But I am flabbergasted. And when I say flabbergasted, I mean absolutely 150% flabbergasted that they're back. But I am not flabbergasted that who they run to in their time. And look, I got nothing against these folks. I'm talking about the people that they run to. I got no problem with any of them, and they can feel how they want, and they can support who they want. But I'm just not with you. I'm not with that camp. I just won't do it. I don't feel that they want to find Summer. Because if they were to find Summer, it would be bad for the parents involved. And I'm not going to go as far as other people and say that, hey, they killed her. I don't know that. I really don't. Nobody knows that except them and God. I don't know. It's getting cold in here. I just, like I said, I don't know. But I do know who is in charge of her and who has a half-assed story that is rehearsed every step of the way. You can go all the way back to Allie. They planted flowers. I was planting flowers with my mom. She was planting flowers with her mom. She wanted some peppermint. Does it? Does my mic sound quiet? I don't think it does it? Maybe it does. I don't know. Is that better? Is that any better? Testing, 1, 2, testing. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hold on a second here. It's raining so hard here. It's been nonstop raining. Gwen, thank you so much. 6 months enjoying the best channel. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I get a little discouraged sometimes. Yesterday was a bad day for me personally, but I've kind of sort of bounced out of that and started to try to move forward because yesterday was my mother's birthday, and and it's always a difficult, that and Mother's Day is quite the reminder. But that's neither here nor there. But I do, like I said, I do want to thank everybody for their beautiful, nice, just everybody being so caring and loving, and so thank you very, 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 very much from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot. It's really nice when she can get recognized the way that she did. And she probably hasn't been wished that many happy birthdays ever. So, thank you guys. I appreciate that very much. Don doesn't have the makings of a varsity athlete. No, he doesn't.
I think I just broke a tooth.
No, he doesn't have the makings of a varsity athlete. But for some reason, I do believe, I believe Don a little bit more than I believe Candace. It's always kind of been that way for me. I don't believe Candace at all. I think that Candace is probably one of the biggest liars that I've ever, had the pleasure of listening to. And when I say pleasure, I don't mean that it's actually been a pleasure.
He's a lost cannon.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, does anybody, so do we just forget about the last, 18 and a half months or whatever it's been? I mean, this was literally said while Don was sitting his little keister. Oh, I say little, I don't know how little it is or not. And I don't want to talk about his keister, but it's sitting in prison or jail.
Man, I'm not 150% of chance of anything doing with this.
Right.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Don't know.
Because I don't know.
Don't know.
I have a lot of suspicion.
We all do.
I have a problem with Allie,
Right.
Jose,
Uh-huh.
Jody Sue,
Right.
Andy,
Yep.
Donnie.
Yeah.
I mean, I could list the
Wait.
whole.
Wait, who was that last one? Who was that last one? And what do you think about Tim Mullen?
He's trying to say that he's the meteor for our family, but I don't. Well, why do you need a meteor for my family?
Right. I agree. Why would anybody need a meteor for their family? I mean, look, to pretend that the last 19 months didn't happen, and like I said, I have been accused relentlessly by a lot of people that I've got it in for Dawn, that McDonough has it in for Dawn, that we are so focused on Dawn.
He's a lost cannon.
That we are just overly focused on Don and Candace. Well, then tell me who else I should focus on, and I'll do it. Give me something tangible, and I'll do it. If there is somebody else out there, and I don't want to hear about Don Scherfly. I don't want to. These people would be in jail if they had anything to do with it. Now you go, well, Josh, Don and Candace would be in jail if they had anything to do with it. Don and Candace lost 3 kids. Now they're trying to raise $10,000 to get them back. So they did do something. What they did with Summer, I don't know. But tell me who else to look for, to talk to speculate on. I've dug as deep as any of these people. And they say, "Oh, have you gone to Hawkins County?" What do I need to go to Hawkins County for? I don't need to know you know, how rural it is. I don't need to go up to, I've been to shitty houses before. That's not new. I've stayed at them. What good would me going there do? And I'm willing to do it. But, you know, who else are we looking for, guys? Who else are we looking for? Who are the other suspects? My scenario is and will be until it is proven otherwise. And then, by the way, if it is ever proven that Don and Candace had absolutely nothing to do with Summer's disappearance, which, by the way, there's no shot in hell that they have nothing to do with this. I mean, it's just so impossible because of their behavior. Because I tell you, you know, I remember one time I lost a little mouse. His name was Pinky. And I searched for Pinky for 7 hours until I found him. Somehow he ended up in the dryer. He was alive. 7 hours. I was 9. I looked for Pinky longer than Don and Candace looked for Summer. Sounds like, yeah, they were sitting on the truck, or on the bed of the truck, you know, playing football. Poor Pinky. Poor Pinky. I miss him. I know. He was just a little mouse. He was just like one you get from the pet store. I actually hated it, but yeah, I did look for him. Pinky in the brain, nah, just Pinky. He was little. It was little. So what? I mean, what? You know. So is this the new this? So this is the new thing here. We're gonna just dismiss all the crap that Don and Candace have done. A little bit. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. And thank you. Is it, you would pronounce that Tara, right? Is that correct? Or Tara? I think it's Tara. I think it's Tara. I don't know. But, you know, it's crazy to me. You know, it's nothing personal against the people that want to support Don and Candace. I mean, I guess everybody just feels the way that they feel because of how they feel. But I'm sure that some of this somewhere with some people is disingenuous. You know, Don just hanging around in somebody's chat puts, you know, more people around. Because they want to know. They want to hear Don call Blowhorn Betty or whatever her name is the C word and the B word and the you know, the whatever word and the X word, Q. You know. I didn't think we would go back to this case, but I will, I guess. What do you mean? That's what this, I mean, that's kind of how this channel sort of started. That's how these live streams started. You know. But like, just hanging around. Can't help it. Can't help themselves. It's really frustrating. Like, let's just be honest. They don't want to find her. You can't find something or someone. You can't find Summer when she's not lost. She's lost to us, but I don't believe that she's lost to them. It's specifically Candace. Now, whatever happened after that, I believe that Dawn has some guilty knowledge now. I mean, if you just listen to him when he was saying, like, I protected you. She said, oh, you didn't protect me. And he's like, Candace, are you serious? Like, yeah, dude. She's serious. So if I catch another person talking sweet about Dawn and Candace, saying that I'm picking on them, well, they can shove it. You go and patty cake with Dawn and Candace, and nothing will ever get done. It will be the same thing. Second verse, same as the first. Avoidance. Let's make it about us. The situation with the boys is in the state's hands. They don't need us. But you know what situation is not in anybody's hands? It seems like Candace and Dawn and Summer. That is something that is not being handled. I know this is an ongoing investigation, and Dawn and Candace are presumed innocent, have been charged with nothing, but everybody's a suspect. And that's another thing. Sheriff Lawson is mum on this. It's the biggest, he said it was the biggest case of his life. The biggest case of his life. How? The biggest case of his life sounds like him protecting his son. And you know what? Like, we'll just call that how it is. Where's the updates? Where are, no more planned searches. No more nothing. So basically, and by the way, if you were to ask the lead detective on this case, when was the last time you received a credible tip that you looked into? I would be curious if this is something, if they're still gathering evidence, or if they're just waiting for the phone to ring. Because I'm telling you what, Dawn and Candace aren't talking. They have proven that. Yes, they absolutely were. But they're not looking. They're not looking. Why would they look? They got everybody else to look. Natalie Holloway's mother still searches for her daughter. There are people that have been searching for their children until the day that they die, because it is their life's duty and responsibility to look for their children. The people that don't look for their children are the ones that, well, you would just say, well, they probably don't care. Well, it's probably worse than not caring. I can't imagine anybody giving up looking for a 5-year-old little girl. And let's just be completely honest. Everybody says, oh, she's 6 or she'll be 7. What do you mean? She went missing when she was 5. She hasn't been seen since. She's a 5-year-old missing child. And by the way, I don't know at what point you presume that somebody is deceased, but like let's just be honest. Even Don and Candace kind of say that. And this isn't classism. It's not because they're quote unquote poor, which they're not. It's not because they're from Tennessee, rural Tennessee. It's not because they're country. It's not because of anything. It's not because they even do drugs or whatever. It's not because of any of that. It's because of the actions after she went missing. That's what it's from. Their actions speak for themselves. Instead of looking for Summer, they prank Mary. Dawn goes on a crack binge, proving to TBI by buying drugs and alcohol, or buying drugs and passing it out. Somehow that proves something. And it certainly doesn't. Right, but I'm not Mystic Road. You're right, but that's not why I suspect them, because that they have used drugs. That's not why. That's not why I'm saying anything about what I say. The drugs may have something to do with it, but it's not the main reason why. Simply because of their actions and nothing more. Nothing more. My grandfather lost a sock one time that he looked for all around the house for a week. It was kind of casually off and on, but it's a sock, you know. And my dog had ate it, crapped it out whole, and then he threw it in the wash machine a week later and kept it. I know that's disgusting, but like that's commitment, and that's a sock. And pinky, you know. I've been looking for a $20 bill that I lost for like, I don't know, 6 years. It's here somewhere. I just don't know where. I don't know where I put it. Yeah, probably in an old jacket somewhere. And I still kind of look here and there. But let's not forget that this is a family that seems to give up on looking for their missing. And they have more than one. They have more than one. Yeah, let's see. Here's a great one. Brown Skittle says it's because Candace said she went for a walk, then denied it, then was that was the first thing for me. Yep. Advised that she went for a walk. Oh, you know, but when I play that, it's supposedly out of context. And first of all, I don't know what context. I don't know what context that would be okay in. Hold on, I got to put this in subscriber mode. Customization. There we go. Let me pull something up here. And then we can just listen for ourselves. Julie B. Let me see. I did miss a member too. Did I miss a new member? Wait, I'm going back. Tamara. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. I just found something I've been looking for 7 years. Who would, do we have trolls in the lab? I don't know. Do we? I don't think so. Sometimes. I think it was an accident caused by some form of neglect and ended badly, and they freaked out and put her somewhere. I don't think Candace or Dawn ended her life intentionally. That is certainly a possibility. But guess what? You don't get to freak out and hide your child. You might as well have killed her. You don't get to do that. That to me, the disrespect, if it was truly an accident, which I think that it could have been an accident, but you don't get to hide that. You don't get to cover that up. I think a lot of people think that it's an accident, and there's a lot of people that think it's on purpose, but there's a very small fringe group that believe that Dawn and Candace are completely innocent. They're not the problem. The problem is Dawn and Candace. That's the problem. You don't just get to cover up the mistakes that you want like that. That's not a mistake. That's a felony. That's a crime. That is, it's your child. Julie says, if you don't call the authorities and try and help her regardless, you show how much you don't care about your own child. Like you said, Josh, the disrespect's so disgusting. Yeah. You don't get to cover those mistakes. It's not like you started smoking again when you were supposed to quit. Like that's just not even. It's just not even the same at all. How many people have they said that the cover-up is worse than the crime? Look, her having an accident isn't a crime. Not reporting it is a crime. Hiding her body is a crime. Holding information back from investigators is a crime. But let's not act like Don didn't sit his ass in jail for 6 months and Gitchell was right down the road. Did they have weekly meetings to discuss the ongoing investigation? When somebody would say, well, no, Josh, they don't trust law enforcement. Okay, well, then, then there's nothing I can do for you. There's nothing that I could say that will make any sense or any difference to you. None. Zero. Zilch. It won't make any difference. Dawn was in Hawkins County Jail, which Ronnie Lawson's right there, and Detective, whatever his name is, I think it's Gitchell. So on and so forth. But, Gitchell even said, hey, I'll make him a priority. If he wants to talk to me, then I'll come talk to him. They didn't have open communication. They don't have open communication. Sugar says, honestly, I see why they don't trust Ronnie Lawson. Look, Ronnie Lawson is one person. And they absolutely did look for Summer when she went missing. And it was an enormous search. It was an enormous search. It was an expensive search, and there were lots of volunteers. They definitely looked for Summer. So I just think that more could be done going forward, but I'm not saying, like, I don't think that there's some big conspiracy. I really don't. I don't think that there's a conspiracy. I don't think that, I don't think that corruption in that county was going to stop finding Summer. I mean, they could have possibly, obviously, found her when they were doing searching, and then they came back out and searched. It's not that Hawkins County hasn't searched, it's that the parents don't search. So they can not trust whoever they want. Obviously, they don't trust anybody. But I really do think I really think that Candace could just take anybody and say, "Hey, this is where she is. This is what happened to her." I'm not saying that Candace intentionally did anything. Every single person close to the case, Allie, Hunter, Graham Bam Bam, people in Hawkins County, the fat guy that was in the middle of the road that had the pervert son, law enforcement. I'm sure that law enforcement believes, obviously, that they're involved. But, seems like they're good at covering stuff up. Don literally said that he protected Candace. And then she said no, and then he got really mad about it. She wasn't happy that he brought that up.
You're supposed to, it's not about you, it's about Summer. You I can tell. It's about you. Oh, wow, bitch. Don't even go there. Alright, then. I went and handled your asshole, and I even protected your asshole. You didn't protect me. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, just don't go there. Don't even go there.
Do you think you're going to be the person in the end that gets in trouble for Summer?
Oh, it's very possible, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That they're going to, in your opinion, railroad you for this? Do you think that that's what's going to happen?
You can't do that with no evidence. That's impossible, bro. How can you do that? You
well, I don't know.
Evidence.
I don't know what evidence they have. I don't know.
They don't have no evidence, and there's no way they could ever have evidence because it's impossible.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
I've done a lot of time. And you know what? I'm not saying it would be a good thing, but I feel like almost like it would be an honor. I know people take this weird or funny, but I would almost take it as an honor to serve time for my daughter. I know that sounds crazy. I don't get it myself, but even though I'm innocent, but out of love, just out of pure love for my daughter, I would do anything.
I just know that they have to have done something because she did not walk off of that property. That's all I know. It's just how I am. It's just, if you're going to leave something on the table, and I know that you probably got something to hide because the way you're acting, and the way you call me, of course I'm going to look through your phone.
Sure.
So she goes through her car, goes on the other side. I act like I'm grabbing my phone because they're just about the same.
Right. So you play it like.
So I put mine where hers was.
Got it.
And so I grabbed her phone. And see, I'm good with tech. I know where everything you can hide is. And so I went through her Google Photos, if that's what you want to call it.
Okay.
The gallery part.
Okay.
And so where you can delete things, they don't just delete, they go to your trash. I don't know if people know that or not, but they go to your trash.
Okay.
I know that because I mess around with tech every day.
Right. You need to go into IT, bro. Right there. Go ahead.
And so when I looked in there, I seen 13 messages between her and her drug, I'm gonna say drug dealer because he is, Andy. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to name his name, but yeah, all I seen